Well, let's talk about this rumor. I mean, I wouldn't even call it a rumor at this point. I feel like it's just Buffalo Bills fans attempting to manifest a blockbuster trade for the likes of Micah Parsons, the defensive end over at the Dallas Cowboys. As many of us remember, just 2 days ago, Micah Parsons announced to the world on social media where he suggested he would like to be traded from the Dallas Cowboys. And obviously, with the Buffalo Bills and Bills fans alike dealing with the uncertainty around the James Cook situation, right? As we all know, James is currently holding in at practice. And I've been seeing so many people in my comment section say, Dan, we should trade for Micah Parsons and include James Cook in on the package. Imagine what Micah Parsons could do for this defensive line. He's an absolute dog. Would Jerry actually let him walk? Well, on today's episode, I figured we might as well just look into the speculation or many Bills fans just trying to manifest this overall trade package, what it could look like, and more importantly, my final take on the scenario. As each and every single one of you are coming on in, welcome to another edition of the Don Mafia Report. I am live every single Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. EST and 4 p.m. EST. So make sure your calendars are marked, set, ready to go. I am dead set on keeping you all entertained twice a day, Monday through Friday. I just ask that you do me a favor and hit that thumbs up sign for me, and let's propel it out to the YouTube algorithm. As always, I am nosy. I want to understand where everybody is tuning in from. So please do me a favor, guys. Shout yourself out in the comments section and let me know, where are you located? How far does this fan base truly extend? Let me know where each and every single one of you currently are. I do need to give a giant shout out to one of our proud partners today, folks. You are so familiar with these guys. It's our good friend, William Mattar. If you were ever hurt in a car, you better call William Mattar, #1 car accident attorney in the state of New York. I wouldn't wish a car accident on any of you, but say that it does happen. Have to have the right representation, and look no further than my guy staring you right at the face. Shout out to William Mattar for being that dude. All right. What's this roll call looking like, baby? Let's see what we got. We have Brooklyn, New York is in the building. What do we do about Cook? Have no fear. We're going to be having that conversation ad nauseum. Go Bills, Jacksonville, Florida. We have Altoona, Iowa's in the building. Orlando, Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. West, Los California. Homer, New York. Go Bills, Kentucky. Brooklyn, New York. Boston, Massachusetts. Orlando, Florida is in the building. Rochester from the UK. Fun times. Denver, Indiana. Oh, my God, look at that, man. We have Allentown, Pennsylvania, Stafford, Virginia, California, Cheektowaga, Richmond, Virginia, Dunkirk. Lurkers, do not be shy. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Odessa, Texas. How about some mojo football over there, baby? Look at that. Look at that. All right, so why did this Micah Parsons theory / manifestation become viral on the internet for Bills fans, right? I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that James Cook is holding in, and I feel like about 60 to 75% of the fan base has had it up to here. I don't think that they are very happy with how James Cook is handling the situation. I do think it's very polarizing. I think that we can be somewhat empathetic on his mindset with said contract. But then we ultimately ended up seeing Micah Parsons is looking for a new team. And a very similar situation, Micah Parsons, where it stands right now, he is looking for a new deal. And it sounds like the Dallas Cowboys have no intention on paying this guy, at least according to Jerry Jones. We have seen this movie before. We've seen it with Dak Prescott. We have seen it with CeeDee Lamb and just a couple of years ago. So I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I do think that Micah Parsons is not going anywhere. So I do think that this is his last ditch effort for a sort of with those talks over his contract. But most interesting is that Micah Parsons' agent ended up listing 4 teams in which that he would be open to signing with. Again, I'm not even entirely convinced that this is something that we could ride home with, right? This could just be fluff. This could be to light a fire under Jerry Jones' ass. Let's be completely honest with ourselves. But he did list the Buffalo Bills as a potential suitor of where he would like to go. I'm pretty sure all of us, we did end up seeing that clip of him discussing how much he loved Josh Allen, how much he loved the culture of Buffalo. Again, I really think that this is just smoke to said fire. But let's say in some alternate reality that Brandon Beane, who is unwilling to pay the second best player on our offense $15 million a year, let's see whether or not that he would entertain making Micah Parsons the highest paid defensive end in all of football by taking a look at his overall contract. I don't need to remind anybody here that where Buffalo stands, we're 32nd in the league for available cap space. Last time I checked, I think we had $100,000. I've seen $500,000. Whatever the number is, rest be assured we are last in the NFL. And Micah Parsons' current deal, where it stands, he's going into his fifth-year option. His cap hit would be $24 million. Now, if a trade were to occur, folks, that would mean that we would ultimately end up giving him a new deal from the jump, meaning that that $24 million would not be nearly as much of a significant cap hit. More than likely, we would be able to give him a giant signing bonus for the majority of his said new deal, and the cap hit would be significantly less, right? Like 1.9 veteran base and his signing bonus equaling to about $40 million per year would be a bit more reasonable. But let's take a look at his overall market value and see what a trade would look like if Brandon Beane theoretically wanted to pull the trigger. So market value per spot track, he's sitting at about $37.9 million average annual value. That would make him the number one highest defensive end in the NFL. His current deal has him about 47, with his average salary being at around 4.2. You look at some of the other comparisons, right? Have the average salary at $40 million. His value is at 160. You have Nick Bosa, of course, at 34. Make no mistake. What Micah Parsons is looking for is to be that next edge rusher. He's trying to beat TJ Watt. He's trying to beat Myles Garrett. Whether or not that we think that he deserves this is an entire different conversation. Now, many Cowboys fans that I talk to, they say that he is hit or miss. Sometimes he shows up on specific outings. Sometimes he does not. So I look at it from this perspective. Number one, I don't think that we should waste a lot of energy thinking that Brandon Beane is even entertaining this. Because again, I think the model in Buffalo, at least considering the salary cap, is one thing and one thing only. We need to get young and we need to get cheap / affordable. That's what Buffalo has been running with for the past couple of seasons, especially when Stephon Diggs. And same thing with last offseason when we walked away from a lot of our veterans in Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer, what have you. And I don't think that we are willing to go out and drop a bag on Micah Parsons right now. Maybe if we were in a better financial position, we could be having a different conversation, but I just kind of think that it's not even possible at this point. Number two, I don't see Jerry Jones walking away from this player. You can sit there and pound the table and say, hey, I'm not willing to play. I don't want to play for this organization. But that doesn't mean that Dallas can willingly ship you off. And many might come in and say, hey, you know what? Like, we could trade James Cook and Micah Parsons. Folks, I got to tell you, it's going to take a hell of a lot more than just James Cook for Micah Parsons. Like, we're talking about a James Cook and perhaps 2 first-round picks in order to make this move a move. So, do I acknowledge that the pass rush over in Buffalo has continued to be the biggest issue for this team? For sure. It is the only unit that I have not had consistent belief in since Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane have taken over. It is the one position we haven't been able to figure out as far as consistency, putting together an absolute, winning formula on the defensive line. So, but I am encouraged from what I'm seeing from camp. I am very encouraged from hearing all the things from Michael Hoyt, who I understand is going to be suspended for a couple of games, but he's getting activated right when our schedule actually starts to get hard/difficult. I'm loving what I'm hearing from Landon Jackson, the Rook. I'm loving what I'm hearing from Ed Oliver, from Daquan Jones, from Greg Rousseau. Shout out Solomon. Shout out Javon Solomon for also being a massive standout at camp already for the first 9 practices. It's just hard for me to believe that we would want to make a move like this, especially since the running back that's looking for the contract is only looking for 15, while this guy would be looking for close to about 40. A guy that has proven nothing but to be wildly inconsistent. So, again, when people talk about James Cook and how frustrated they are with him and how he's handling his contract situation, whether or not that you want to move on from him because his attitude and he should live up to his contract, why would we trade one player for another with Micah Parsons as well if that's truly how we feel? Because that's exactly how Cowboys fans feel right now when it comes into how they're handling it from a personality perspective. So the whole thing is kind of weird to me. Don't get me wrong. And so I would be clicking my heels if this ever did come to fruition. I can promise you that. But I mean, really, I just don't see it happening. So now I'm going to go over to the chat, see what they have to say about this. Micah Parsons to the Buffalo Bills. What do you have? As my computer is completely frozen there for a second, folks. Deal with me right here. Okay, talk to me. We have Joey Gonzalez is coming in, and he is saying, okay, $43 million for Micah or 13 for Cook and 30 for McLaurin sounds better to me. Plus, we keep our draft capital. We would definitely be walking away with some draft capital from Terry McLaurin. He is aging. Look, so there's a reason why Washington is not electing to pay the guy, and that's because they see the cliff. I'm not saying that Terry McLaurin is about to fall off of the cliff, but I do think that it is in the near future. You see a lot of these skill position players lose their juice right around this time. So I'm kind of empathetic for the Washington Commanders, especially with how promising we saw Jaden Daniels, how he handled his first year. Does he still need those training wheels? Can he still operate an offense? And I got to tell you, folks, if we're high on Jaden Daniels going into the 2025 season, or we were high on him in 2024, and if he can't go into 2025 without Terry McLaurin and not put the exact same sort of performance out on the field, maybe we spoke too soon. And maybe he wasn't quite the player that we thought he was. And I don't believe that that's the case. We have Noah has come in saying, just pay James Cook. It's interesting, man, right? Because we just heard from Brandon Beane this morning while he was on the radio at WGR. And from what I understand, it sounds like that Buffalo has at least presented a contract, but there's some sort of roadblock, something that's setting it up. Say that I had to give an educated guess. I am willing to bet that it has to do with when the fully guaranteed money expires. It doesn't really have a lot to do with the figure, but more so of what is the state of longevity in the first place. So I think that's interesting, and that's something to look out for. But I do agree with your sentiment. I don't understand how people, so we're saying that $15 million is a vast overpay, but then they want to trade for a guy and turn around and pay him 43. I'm sorry, but paying a running back does not bankrupt an organization. It does not. It does not bankrupt an organization. And I guarantee you, say, for example, that James were to get exactly what he's asking for at $15 million, and this is a hill I will die on, all right? If he were to get that contract 365 days down the road, we would be looking at the breaking news that Jahmyr Gibbs has signed his deal, that Bijan Robinson has signed his deal, and we're going to look back at that $15 million a year, and we're going to be like, holy hell, what a steal. It happens each and every single time, dude. Like, who remembers Josh Allen's first contract? First, we heard, oh my God, he's the highest paid quarterback ever. And it literally lasted 4 months where slowly but surely he started tipping down to about number 11, number 12, up until he got his new deal. So I feel like we need to account for the fact that the salary cap is growing at a staggering rate each and every single year. 15, it's peanuts, baby. It's peanuts, especially compared to bringing in a guy like this. That's what I would do. I would say no, Dan. I mean, I sure love Parsons. He's a beast, but so are our players. Would I be happy if we traded for Parsons? Yes, but I still want some of our rookies out there for sure. It seems like what Buffalo is attempting to do is really lean into the well-rested, very deep, in-depth defensive line. And they understood the assignment this offseason. That was all of their offseason moves. That was free agency. That was the draft, the whole nine. But I just think that it would go against everything that Buffalo spent so much time and energy building. That would be a complete shift in overall priorities if they were to go that direction. Do we keep Cook and start Ray Davis? Do we trade Cook for Terry? I can promise you this, it's going to cost a lot more than James Cook for Terry. We would also need to walk away. So we would also need to walk away from some draft capital. I'm not a proponent of trading Cook. And so to be completely honest with you, he is the second best player on this offense as far as production is concerned. So I definitely don't want to see him go, but it is what it is. We have Enrique. He was the running back TD leader last year. Just pay the guy. Contracts are just going to get bigger and bigger every year. Each team gets more money every season, and people are making more. It's how it is. It's how it is. I could see us doing James Cook and 2 firsts and a third, and Beane and Josh Allen convincing Micah to wait a year to get paid. Hear me out. Oh, man. I'm not sure if that sort of collusion would happen right there. That, my friend, would be known as some collusion. I am late to the party, but I think we keep Cook. What are your thoughts? I do think that we are going to keep him. So 0 questions asked there. It's just a matter of what they are going to agree on. I do want to remind everybody, which is great. We are actually launching the very first episode of Bills Roundtable. That is going to include myself, Z-Bot, Bills Bunker, and Kevin Masari. And that is actually starting in 10 minutes, folks. Soon as when this stream is over, it is going to redirect you over to the first episode. I'm very excited. And guess what the topic is, folks? James Cook. Why did he wait so long to hold in? I think that's an entire different conversation. But as many of you know, I had to come live. So the second that this show is over with, it is going to revert you, pass you along to the first episode of the Bills Roundtable. I sincerely hope that you guys tune in for the inaugural episode. It's going to be a damn blast. I can promise you that. So 15 isn't that much for a top 10 running back. It's all about the guarantee and length of the contract for Cook. That's exactly what's holding him back, if you were to ask me. That's what's holding him back, are the specific lengths of all of it. What's going to happen? We shall see. How will Khalil Shakir pan out this season? He got injured in camp. He is expected to be out so right about 5 weeks. So he has a high ankle sprain, and that is a bitch. That is a fickle bitch. I wouldn't be surprised if he's out week 1. And I hate to be a Debbie Downer. Even if somehow he gets through his rehab and he's ready for week 1, I don't think that he's going to be much of a needle mover for us. It's going to take a little bit right before he's Khalil Shakir again. My guess is week 3. My guess is week 3. Like sometimes, like you could see a high ankle sprain, even if slightly aggravated, add another 2 to 3 weeks after the fact. So even if Khalil Shakir is ready by week 1, he's not going to be 100% Khalil Shakir. It's going to be about week 2, week 3, right before I start to see him making an impact once again, unfortunately. So that's kind of, that is the ugly truth, if you will. We have Cameron. We have a good quarterback that scores rushing touchdowns all the time. Stats lie. Don't we? Have Jordan S. Out of the Bears, Bills, Chargers, and Bucks, we have the best chance at winning the Super Bowl. So within the next 3 years, I think. I would have to agree with you there. 5 weeks, oh no. Pay James Cook. We have Mafia coming in. That's why depth is important. It certainly is. And as far as Khalil Shakir, I don't think that it's going to be a detriment either. Like, we have 3 guys that are going to make this team that have experience running out of the slot. Like, you have Elijah Moore, who has spent 50% of his career there. You have Curtis Samuel. Hopefully he's ready to go with a hamstring injury. And several others that have had slot snaps that have been wildly productive. So that's kind of where we're at right now. My biggest concern is, will Coleman improve? Get off my lawn with a great take. I feel like that's a lot of people's concerns. Like, has he been doing well in training camp? For sure. But it's training camp, right? It's training camp. So how do we know that that's going to translate into week 1? I certainly hope that that's the case. Guys, I'm going to tell you what. Normally, so I stream for an hour at 4 p.m. EST Monday through Friday, but we had to run the Bills Roundtable a couple of minutes early. So I'm going to end this stream and I'm going right over to the Bills Roundtable stream. I ask each and every single one of you to tune in, tap in. We are going to be talking about some James Cook. There's 141 of you on YouTube, 184 on X, 21 on Facebook. This show will be redirected right over to the Bills Roundtable. I hope each and every single one of you tune in, see what's up, and we'll see you over there. Peace.